Welcome back to Holy Babble. This is part two of Girls Will Be Boys. Okay? And I'm continuing where I left off. Okay? I want to flip the script and I want y'all to imagine a woman, or not even imagine. This is something we're told a lot in church all the time, in ladies' day classes and all that kind of thing, where you're getting trained in the Christian faith how to be a good Christian woman. You're always told a woman should remain clean and pure and chaste for her husband, right? Clean and pure and chaste. That straight sentence all right there. You've heard that a million times. So you never hear that point pushed nearly as hard for males as you do for females. Why not? That husband, you remain clean, pure, and chaste for your wives. They always say, oh, well, yeah, God meant that too. Yeah, guys, men submit to your wives, women submit to your husband. Yeah, of course he meant both, but they always push the point more for the women to be pure and chaste. Not so, oh, yeah, of course the man's supposed to do it too, but they're not pushing it as much, right? So what would be the point of remaining clean and pure if you are anything but? If your husband is anything but, okay? So the man is going to pollute the water with one drink. You've kept yourself clean and pure and chaste. He's slept around with half the town. You go marry him, right? Because he's still supposedly seen as a good Christian man. And God forbid, you could get some VD the first time you sleep with your husband, right? So you hear boys will be boys. That's the main, I say girls will be boys, and I'm going to tell you why I'm going to say that later. But usually it's always been boys will be boys, right? Meaning they can't help or control their sexual urges. And that's something, it just, oh, well, I got to sleep with everybody in town, honey. I can't help it, right? God made me that way, right? So, okay, then why would God create, this is very important, why would God create for Eve a mate who can't be faithful to one woman? If you're going to claim, being trapped, you can't stay committed to one woman. That's just how you were made. You're sowing your oats. Then why would God do that to the woman? Why would you not create a mate who can stay committed to one woman for life, right? That doesn't make sense. Either he can absolutely control that crap, otherwise, we should have the same issue. Okay, if you can't control it, then maybe there's some women who can't control it either. Right? They can't control those urges, right? Some women can, some men can't. Some women have been married to the same woman. And I don't mean these people who have been married for a long time but have cheated multiple times, got separated 4 or 5 times, cheated. I'm talking people who have stayed committed in good relationships, not abusing your wife the whole time, but good relationships, right? That does happen. They are out there. Men used to be encouraged to sow their wild oats before marriage, right? Which is already kind of heads up that he's not trying to remain pure and chaste. If you're saying go sow your wild oats, go get out there and experience life, they're not saying go traveling. They're saying experience different women. Go out there, honey, son. Go out there and sow them oats. Experience multiple women. So when you get married, is sleeping with multiple women really going to prepare you for staying with one woman? Is that going to prepare? No, you're going to be wondering who else out there you're missing out on, right? The world is your oyster, right? That is not preparing you to stay with one woman for life by you sleeping with a whole bunch of other women, because you're going to get tired of that one woman, some people. Or you're going to feel like, hey, I'm missing out, right, on the good stuff. That is not preparing you to remain clean and chaste. Now, or more recently, women are starting to catch up to men. That's where my title comes from. I've got some of these women are like, hey, I've got some sewing to do too, baby. Yeah, and it ain't a dress, okay? I want to sow my wild oats too before I get married, if I even decide to get married, right? Girls will be girls, right? Girls will be boys. I mean, girls starting to catch up to boys, do the same behavior the boys were doing, and now just regular girl behavior. Girls will be girls now. They have a word for women who get around. If a woman gets around, they call that you're promiscuous, right? The closest thing a guy will get is he's sexually active. That's not really a word that's kind of put down for a man who's sexually active, right? The culture is more forgiving also. The culture is more forgiving for males who cheat or are sexually active. A male will never be labeled damaged goods, right? So, and also I want to tell you something else. How many times have you heard a father say, I'm scared to let my daughter out because I know how I was when I was young? Really? So, how were you when you were young? You weren't a good Christian, pure and chaste male, right? So, do you feel that way about your son? Right? Do you not want to let him out too? Because you don't want him to do the things you did. So you shouldn't just say, I don't want to let my daughter out because I know how I was when I was a young male. You should say, I don't want to let my son out either because I don't want him to do to other women what I did. I got around, I got somebody pregnant, and no, you say, no, son, you stay home. So are you trying to, I don't know if you're trying to counteract that behavior or what, but I just think that's just so strange to say, oh, I know I was something else when I was young. I don't want my daughter to get out. So whose daughter were you messing with? I think that's just a shady thing to say, right? But if you turn on the radio, here's the difference between males and females. Males are bragging about how many partners they have had, or about to have, or are having right now, or lusting after a girl that is underage. Okay, a lot of pedophilia out there on some of these rock. This is not Christian channel. We're talking about pop, R&B channels, country, right? Females are breaking away a little, but they are still looking for the special one, the true love, singing not in plural, but in singular experiences, right? My one true love, not for all the girls I've loved before, right? This girls saying for the one guy I've loved, I love. What's called saying for all the girls, right? Can you imagine a woman saying for all the guys I've loved before? Imagine replacing the man with a female, and have her saying for all the guys I've loved before, right? You come across your ears, hit your ears a little differently when it's a woman saying, bragging about her conquest. It hits your ears a little differently. So here's some examples of some songs you're going to hear. Girls, 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 red lips, fingertips, poison. All right, that's how a man's going to talk about his conquest. A woman says, I've had a few, but not that many. That's an R&B song, Juicy Fruit. Oh, I just had one or two, baby. It's okay. I'm still a good girl, right? And then you have, I don't see nothing wrong with a little, oh no, sorry, Bobby Brown. I don't see nothing wrong with spreading myself around. Everybody's talking all this stuff. So you let a girl say, I don't see nothing wrong with spreading myself around. I'm still a good girl, right? So then you have Selena, I could fall in love with you. Just with one person, not plural, not with all of you. There you have it. So I know you just, here's another one, kind of pedophilia. I know you're just 16, but looking all of 21, right? Or, young girl, get out of my mind. Your love for me is way out of line. Better run, girl. You're much too young, girl, right? That's what we hear. That's the difference between men singing. Now, we do, like say, girls will be boys. Now we have some women trying to say, yeah, I don't see nothing wrong with spreading myself around now. I don't see nothing wrong with this. And now like, ooh, that's risque. Oh my gosh, what's going on? Lizzo and all these other people, the TLC, what are you singing? The same stuff guys have been singing about for years. So I'm not saying that you have to agree with it. That's how you want to roll, but that's what's happening now. So the culture is always trying to level itself. Give your girls and boys the tools they need and the confidence they need to go out into their world and stand on their own 2 feet. Don't steal their joy. They're going to have enough people trying to do that already who don't care about them or love them at all. So try to be fair to your boys and girls within reasonable about boundaries, But don't hate on the girls and act like they've got to be on, give their what they call it, chastity belt, little metal underwear, and chain your girl down at night while your son's, here, I'll open the window for your son, go on out, have at it, get all the girls. It's not right. That is sexism, right? And so if you're not treating your son that way, that is sexism, right? Now, unless you might have somebody who just has a little bit wilder spirit, and you might say, okay, this one's a little bit wilder than most, but that don't mean you have to try to beat that spirit out of them. You don't beat it out of them. That's going to make them run away from you even quicker and run with maybe the worst guy they can find. Just something to think about, y'all. Thank you for watching Holy Babble.